Hey guys, Sublord here, back in with another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the Masterverse new Etheria, not to be confused with Eternia. Hordak, the ruthless leader of the evil horde and most heavy metal looking figure I've looked at in quite some time, if I do say so myself. That said, this was brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel, and I have heard some issues with this one in regards to the double jointed knees and the elbows. But rest assured, here at Overlord Productions, we heat off figures before we go crank yanking on them. That way they don't snap. Because, let me tell you what, most hinge joints that break for me, it's actually not my fault. And I know that's a bold statement, because I have done my fair share of ups, but I assure you, hinge joints is not one of them. That said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves with sucking ourselves off, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Hordak has to offer in terms of accessories. Starting off with, of course, the arm cannon. It's got a hole in it. You can probably put something in there. Probably not drugs, but something, I'm sure. We also get the Horde staff with this little dragon guy that I guess comes off somehow. That's how. And you can slide this thing off or just unravel it. And now you got this little dragon guy, which is kind of cool. Horde bat, dragon guy, whatever you want to call it. And you just have this kind of perch staff here, which will only fit on this guy one way, so let's get that back on. So obviously pegs in, come on. Come on, line up with the thing. I can't get it to line up now, son of a monkey. Oh. Nope, still ain't. What is going on here? Does it not snap into anything? There we go. There we go. Now it's back on. Not sure why you would take this off, but you can take it off. And then we also get a pair of epic bat-like wings in this red color. I think it's actually, it's like a smoky, transparent plastic or something. But they do have little hinges right there and right there. That's pretty cool. But yeah, you get those, and they plug in on his back. And like Tila from the other day, he does have a shield, the Horde shield, which I did kind of stretch the, what do you call it there, the straps on it, so I could actually fit it over his gauntlet and get him to hold his staff. I would only suggest doing that if it's hot. I would not do that if it's cold, because it's not the biggest thing. It's pretty stretched out now, so I could probably push it on again, but it's probably going to revert back to its original state at some point. So, yeah, there is that. But at any rate, as far as his articulation goes, his head will look up and down, side to side. Has some pretty good tilt, too. It's a very spongy feeling head, but looks like a vampire. He's got the peg holes on the back. He's got the Horde logo on the chest. Shoulders will pop out. Back down if you're Zeus. You can rotate his arms back and forth. He's got the swivel in the bicep. Double elbow. Like I said, I heated mine so I can move them without snapping anything to pieces like some people. He does have a swivel in the wrist with the wrong hinge fold and stuff, go figure. And if you unsnap his armor, which isn't actually that hard to do, he does have the full torso in there. The full Monty, so you can bend forward and back and what. Rather stiff, but you can do it. pop this all back on. If it's not caught on his shield, that is. What the hell? Can pop all this back on. And rotate him at the waist. He's got the drop down hips. His were actually popped up in the packaging, so I do appreciate that. If they're going to be stuck, I'd rather be stuck in the up position. But the hips will move back and forth. They will also kick out. Tight. Thigh cut. Double knee. Nothing wrong with those. I saw somebody break one of these knees. I don't know how. They're not very tight. At least not on mine. Mine are pretty butter smooth. He does have a little teat on the back of this knee that I could probably pull off with my finger. No, most of it anyways. There's a little more. I'll probably get that with my clippers later. But at any rate, he does have a swivel in the boot with a hinge in the foot. Nice clicky over there. With a rocker. He's got the Skeletor battle armor feet, which aren't the most articulated things ever, or the best. The rocker's very steep, but he does also have the same thing over here. I had to heat this foot on mine. Once I did that, it worked. So no cry, no foul, I guess. But yeah, tight joints on this wave, man. Tight joints. I didn't have to heat up Tila, but I did take the precaution of heating up Hordak and Cobra Khan, because Cobra Khan was sold out. Hordak I've seen people having issues with, so I didn't want to take that chance. But popping these wings in pretty easy. All you got to do is give a good little push in the back until it snaps in. And the same thing over here. I'll try to do this one on camera, even though this is the tighter one. There you go. Fold these down. So they kind of look like his cape, not gonna lie, but there. Just gonna get him standing upright here. And then his staff has this handy dandy handle that you can just push into his hand, which is cool. Look at that. Ain't that something? So there you go. That is the ruthless leader of the evil horde in a nutshell. Probably my favorite figure of the wave. I mean, he's freaking sick. He might have edged out Ninjora as my favorite Masterverse this year. I don't freaking know. He is really, really cool. It's kind of funny though. First it was Beastman, then it was Ninjora, now it's Hordak. It's like I keep jumping from wave to wave. I don't really feel like anyone the next wave's going to take his spot. Maybe Mantenna, but he really has to knock my very tight AF because they're new and I'm just breaking them in socks off. So with that being said, it's time now that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here we have good old Hordak, the ruthless leader of the evil horde. Sorry, I had to roll my R's again. Alongside the other figures available in this current wave of Masterverse, we have both New Eternia Tila and Cobra Khan. Reviews of both of which are already on the channel, along with that Deluxe Moss Man that was a Mattel Creations exclusive. So please check those out if you haven't already. Really appreciate it if you did. It's a decent wave of figures. Is it the best? Probably not. I think the last wave with Ninjora and Terraclaw Skeletor was also pretty solid. The wave before that with King Randor, Roboto, and Beastman was pretty solid. What was the wave before that? Was it Evil Lyn, Fisto, and Flying Fist He-Man? I think it was. That wave was okay. I think the last wave was okay. This wave and the wave with Beastman are on par as far as I'm concerned. But I think the next wave with Mosquitor, Mantenna, and Anti-Eternia He-Man, that might be the wave of the year. If they come out before the end of the year. We'll have to just wait and see, won't we? Getting these two out of the way so we can make way for our two regulars Mythic Legion's brother Mandibileth. And the infamous Kurt Elevated Spawn, who's probably about... Actually, Hordak's a little taller. Holy shit! Did not expect that. So, not only is Hordak a little taller than good old Al Simmons, he's also a card-carrying member of the Men in Red and Black Club, if I do say so myself. I mean, just look at him. And that goes for all the Evil Horde. I think they all have a hefty amount of red and black going on. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and out of all of the Masterverse figures we've taken a look at on the channel this past year, not just in this wave, I have to say that good old Hordak, the ruthless leader of the Evil Horde here, is by far the most surprising and is possibly the contender for Masterverse figure of the year. I love the bat wings, I like the arm cannon, I like the staff, the shield. Only thing he doesn't have is a pair of fists, but at the end of the day, I don't think I'd be using those anyway, because, I don't know, something about a badass looking vampire technomancer with a gun arm, a cool staff, a shield, and bat wings just screams Overlord Productions to me. More so than Ninja. Still love him, but I don't know. This one's doing something for me. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.